Alright, everybody, it's time to review Monsters at Work episode number 4. So it's the time of the annual Monsters Inc. bowling tournament, and and Mike sees that the prize is dinner for two the at at the restaurant that he got banned from. It back in the original Monsters Inc. movie. Only Rose tells him, "No bowling for you, Lazowski, because you still haven't turned in your paperwork." And then Mike tells Rose, after asking her, "Are you sure you're still not Roz?" That because he's vice president uh, uh, of Monsters Inc. now. Um, he has somebody that does all of his paperwork for him. That being Randall's old door technician. And then Rose proceeds to tell him, because you're now in charge, you have to approve all the paperwork, not file it away. And then Mike's polar opposite and his rival Gary comes in and says, "Oh, sorry, Lazowski, but at least Rose telling you can't bowl spares you the humiliation of losing to me again, and that Gary's gonna be the one to win the dinner at Harryhausen's." And then Mike says, "Oh, okay, yeah, Gary. Well, I don't have to bowl because I'm going to actually sponsor a team, and 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 let's make a little bet. The whichever one of our teams wins, your team of all people named Gary, or my team, name the big Lazowskis. Whichever one of our teams wins has to do the loser's paperwork and be his butler for a month, and that's who gets the dinner. Uh, 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 and after consulting with Sully and Tyler, which, by the way, Sully's only role in this episode is to help Mike come up with the idea to name the team after himself. So good on Sully for that. And then Tyler, it, it, in another effort to get in good with the bosses, so he can finally get out of mid and onto the left floor, which is what he wants. Um, my, my, Tyler tells Mike that he actually bowls, and that he knows a team that can bowl, and this is after Mike surprises Nift while they're trying to repair the ball return machine at the bowling alley. Um, uh, uh, and, and despite Fritz telling Tyler that 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 his fellow mitters all have these really cool bowling nicknames after the big Lazowskis are assembled. And again, Tyler's whole goal behind this, Val actually spits it out, which is again just to getting good with Mike, so Mike will promote him to the laugh floor to finally be a jokester. And I mean literally, guys, Val literally spits it or or, or says Tyler's whole intention straight out to everybody. But then of course she goes, "I'm just kidding," and then Fridge is like, "Oh yeah, they don't call me no splits Fridge for nothing." Uh, the, the the only one that really doesn't bowl is Duncan. He just likes the junk food at the bowling alley. And after discovering through the first two matches of the bowl off of the bowling tournament, Tyler sadly discovers that that the Big Wazowski's current lineup, minus Edgy Tyler himself, has no bowling talent whatsoever at all. In fact, Fritz pretty much kills himself out there. Val's only able to get Val's barely able to get the ball even to roll, and Cotterwell, she shouldn't be anywhere near a bowling ball. Let's put it that way. Because if you've ever seen Ernest Slam dunk, just picture the way Ernest held the basketball, but ball before but before he got the enchanted shoes, and picture that with color. She basically shouldn't be anywhere near a ball, and it's only from the first team being made up of slugs, and do the color literally knocking out the second team that the Big Wazowskis have progressed in the tournament, and then Tyler, still being so desperate for this plan to work, uh, 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 agrees to a contract with Duncan, and Duncan says, "Hey, uh, 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 I'll get you some other players that can really bowl, but in exchange, you have to sign this contract that says, even though you've told me this already, that you will not, eh, eh, that you will not try and go after Fritz's job as Myth supervisor if something happens to him, or he finally decides to do the smart thing and retire." And Tyler agrees to the contract, and the moderators of the bowling tournament are the two trash can monster guys. And it's only after Tyler lies to Val, Cutter, and Fritz that the last match against Gary's team has been cancelled, and Duncan's new team comes in, and and Val even realizes that, hey Tyler, this writing that says the last match against Gary's team is cancelled. looks like your handwriting. And and it's only after Mike shows up at the big match and says, "Hey, look, where's the team?" And Duncan Silk comes in, and it just so happens that that Fritz, Gunnar, and Val also finally happen to catch Tyler in his lie after all. And even though they say, "Tyler, you just lied to us to get what you want out of Mike," and and uh, and even Duncan's new team says, the female monster captain says, "Everybody, um, my my teammates and I have talked over, and 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 we refuse to bowl us by that 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 lies to his team like that." Um, and the bowling tournament ends up in a tie, and that's the end of the episode.